Once upon a time, there was Mr. Switch. He hadn't used it in a while, and there he had an itch. It was Christmas time and the block was snowing, and all Mr. Switch wanted for Christmas was the crime rate to keep growing. Mr. Switch wanted some hoes, and the hoes were going. One day, Mr. Switch got a FaceTime while lying in bed.
"Hey, fuck nigga, you fuck my bitch,"
the phone had said. Mr. Switch replied,
"I have a Gen 5 with a Switch. You know my street cred."
The nigga on the phone said,
"Pull up, Mr. Switch."
Mr. Switch replied,
"Well, I ain't no bitch."
Mr. Switch didn't have a car, and it was because Mr. Switch, not too long ago, was released from the bars. Mr. Switch took a perk and was on Mars. Now Mr. Switch is in the perfect mentality to steal a car. Boom, a Hellcat catches his eye in the parking lot. There was no other cars around. It was a perfect parking spot. Mr. Switch successfully stole the car and was on the way to the op. He even had the GPS headed to the block. All but not knowing the one person who saw this all was a cop. Zoom zoom, Mr. Switch goes. He went to show off the Hellcat to all his bros. Mr. Switch says,
"Come with me to the drill. Some niggas down the way are about to get killed." "Bet,"
the friend said, and they drove in the Hellcat that was all red. They were happy like they were on vacation. They went to the spot where the thought sent the ops location. There they were ready for a drive-by. Then Mr. Switch says,
"Y'all better let them bullets fly."
"Krah, krah, krah," as they shot up the block. In the crossfire, they see the op was shot.
"Let's get it,"
the young niggas say. "This is one of our best days." Whoop whoop, as they see the lights. And at this point, they know it's either fight or flight. Mr. Switch didn't notice that they were being followed. And then Mr. Switch had an idea and started shooting the cops with hollows. Boom, boom, the Switch goes as they drive. They were cutting up in traffic, trying to make it out alive. Mama called Mr. Switch and said, "Why am I watching you live?" Mr. Switch says,
"I don't know, mama. Don't believe them. They're all lies."
She explains to Mr. Switch how the op's brother, mother, and grandmother wasn't found alive. Helicopter and cop cars were chasing Mr. Switch on the night of Christmas Eve, and Mr. Switch said,
"I have one more thing up my sleeve."
Mr. Switch turned the corner and told the homies to hop out the car. Cause with this last move, Mr. Switch will either be dead or behind bars. Mr. Switch parked the car and hid behind it. "Mr. Switch, it's over," the cop said. Mr. Switch said,
"I ain't going back to prison. I'd rather end up dead."
Boom, a shootout suddenly happens. And Mr. Switch thought, when I said I ain't no bitch, I wasn't really capping. The cops ended up killing Mr. Switch, and on that Christmas Eve, he ended up on the news as the Christmas Grinch. He killed and hurt many that day, and it's all because Mr. Switch just wanted his way. You may be wondering, what is this story about? This is a story on why you shouldn't crash out. The end.